In a previous video, I talked about how you need to understand how people would beat you. I gave the example of if I came up to you and gave you $500 and said, "Tell me how to beat you," what would you say? And I suggested you get a pencil and paper and write that down and reflect on that a little bit. How would I beat myself if I could play myself across the net? What are my weaknesses? And those are the things you need to go work on and get better and get rid of. In today's video, I wanted to ask the flip side of that question. And that question is, what am I doing to beat myself? How am I getting myself in trouble, or how am I missing opportunities? So if I could fix things about my game, so I have my opponents over there and maybe they're hitting good shots and they understand how to beat me, whatever that is. Maybe I have a weak backhand, or I can't hit a serve well or return well or whatever. But the flip side of that is, what am I doing to get myself in trouble, to not play well, or to miss opportunities? I need to know that just as much as I need to understand how other people would beat me if they knew how. So again, grab a pencil and a piece of paper and start writing those down. Reflect on that a little bit and go, what am I doing that I could get rid of or stop doing, or that I'm not doing that I need to start doing, so that I can play better and not make life tough on me? Let's think about some examples of how I might be beating myself. One example is, after I serve or my partner serves, I tend to step onto the court. And if my opponent hits a deep shot, I'm in trouble and I have to back up, which is never a good deal. It's going to be a weak shot going back. And so I need to understand, am I stepping on the court, exposing my feet, and then having to back up and hit shots? If I am, that's one way that I'm hurting myself. Here's another common one. You might be in no man's land for no reason. Either you never got all the way up to the kitchen line, or you backed off of that kitchen line for whatever reason, and we have to occasionally, and you just never got back up to the kitchen line for whatever reason. Played with a guy the other day who got us killed, honestly, that he was always out of position. Our opponents were targeting him, which they should have, which I would have done had I been the opponent. And I'm looking over at him during the game going, why are you standing there? Why don't you get out of this no man's land area and get all the way up or get all the way back? You're getting us killed being in no man's land. Maybe you have a favorite shot that you're overusing. I know a few people that love to go down the line, but honestly, they're not very good at it. And sometimes the ball doesn't want to go down the line. It's relationally in a position relative to your body that it just doesn't lend itself well to go down the line. But still, I see people try this. So if that's you, if you have a favorite shot, take a look at it and go, am I getting the payoff that I want off that favorite shot? And if not, maybe I need to not have that as a favorite shot anymore. Here's another one. As we get older, less athletic, maybe less flexible, we might tend to not exert as much energy as we need to for certain shots. For example, I see a lot of people not willing to get low enough, meaning that they're too vertical with their knees locked out, instead of being in this more athletic, ready position with our knees bent and being willing to move. And so what can commonly happen is we don't get low enough and get under that ball. It never goes up and over that net. So evaluate yourself. It's like, am I putting too many balls into the net? Am I not able to move enough because I'm just not willing to be in that good ready position enough? And if that's you, then maybe you want to work a little bit harder on being in a good ready position and willing to get low on some of these shots as we need to. The flip side of that can be we try and do too much. We try and poach too much, take too many of my partner's balls. So my belief is, if I'm going to poach a ball, I have to hit it better than my partner would have hit it if I didn't poach it at all. And I should ideally be able to put a bunch of those away, a high percentage. But I see some people who are just trying to grab everything down the middle, whether it's their forehand or their backhand, and ignore that this is a team sport. And sometimes they get caught out of position. So I'm way over here trying to poach this ball. I don't put it away, and my opponents make me pay and hit that part of the court that I just left open. Try not to do too much. Remember, this is a team game if you're playing doubles, and rely on your partner to hit some of those balls down the middle. You don't have to take every ball. Maybe during the course of the game, you give your opponents too many high balls that they can attack. Understand if that's you, and then if that is you, maybe you need to drill more and understand how to not give them those high balls that they can kill you with. Sometimes we miss opportunities. I've seen these high balls come over and people will, in some cases, let that ball bounce and then hit it, when they could have stepped forward and hit that as an overhead, been more assertive, and kept control of that point. Try not to miss those opportunities when they present themselves. Here's another missed opportunity. I see people where they get a high ball and they hit it, but they don't end the point with their shot. Either they're not hitting it hard enough, or they're not directing it in the right place, or whatever, but that ball comes back. And then my question is, why are we still playing this point? This point should be over. Understand they all can't be perfect, but if you aren't hitting these overheads hard enough, or you're not targeting the close person, or there's somebody's back and you put it halfway between them and it just bounces up and gives them another swing at this ball, then you go, I probably could have done better with that ball. Have the mindset that if you get this high ball, and let's say we worked through several hits to get them to put this ball up high, where we could pound this ball and we don't. Have that mindset, if I get this high ball, this point is over. I'm either going to mess this up so royally that I hit it in the net or wide or long, or it's going to have so much force on it, this point is over, this ball is not coming back. That's probably enough examples, enough food for thought to get you thinking, but seriously, go get a pencil and a piece of paper and write down ways that you feel like you're beating yourself. As always, I can't recommend highly enough that you need to go record yourself play and then watch it back later. You'll see you're doing things you didn't think you were doing, or you didn't know you were doing, and you're not doing some things you thought you were doing. So maybe you're cheating in after the serve, maybe you're getting stuck in no man's land, maybe you're giving your opponents high balls, and you'll see the frequency of those bad habits or those bad things that you need to fix. You'll see those if you watch yourself play on video. You really need to know this, and the best way to see this is watch yourself play, be a little bit critical and go, that's not good, I need to fix that. All you need to record yourself, two things. One, your cell phone, it probably already records in 4K. 2K is good enough. And you need a tripod. You can get one at Best Buy or Amazon for 30 bucks. It comes with a cell phone holder. I'll put a link to that in the description box below. Now go record yourself.